What's happening, YouTube? How is everyone? I hope good. I'm here today with a video on rehab. I've been doing the last couple of videos have been on drinking, substance abuse, drug abuse, however I put it. And while I was researching all the information I found regarding that, I also ran across some information regarding rehab. I know I've had a ton of friends that have tried to go into rehab. I personally, in my past, have tried to go to rehab, but rehab is very expensive. It's not feasible for most people to be able to go. So I wanted to research and see kind of the statistics, if I could say it. Sorry, the retrograde is kicking my ass already. Um, on rehab and the cost and all the stuff I could kind of dig up on it. So I'm going to share it with you. So I hope that you enjoy it, and it gives you the information that will help you if you know somebody that needs rehab or if you personally do. While searching for my information on drugs and alcohol for my last couple videos, I happened to run into this shocking information regarding some rehab facilities and how they were making a ton of money, but people were not, you know, they were leaving the facility and that same day they were using drugs. Okay, I covered that. I noticed that in this one article, I had this gentleman that he had been in and out of drug rehabs his entire life. And what they would do is they'd go ahead and he'd find one that had a bed for him, and once he would be, allowed in there, eventually he would get kicked out. Well, for one reason, he was still using drugs inside the facility because they were easy to obtain while they were in there. And, more than likely, he was a homeless man, so he couldn't afford to pay for it. So they didn't want to keep him there. So he would get, they'd kick him out. So he'd go back to using drugs, and then he'd go to find another one to go to. And he's been doing that for, I believe he said 40 years. I believe that's what he said. So what exactly is a day in a rehab like? This is only on, excuse me, on the traditional day. It's only a traditional day of rehab on one facility is what I went off of. So please don't think I'm saying it goes for all of them. Mornings, healthy breakfast, and early meetings. Part of rehab program is to develop new behaviors and squash out all the old that did not work for the person that's, for the patient. And that's feasible. That's understandable. They need to develop new habits and new, schedules during their day. And I think that's a great idea. There's a group session following breakfast with the counselors or therapists in which they talk about the rehab treatments and how the process will work. The 12-step program, addiction, and recovery are also generally on the list of topics too. Okay. I did find in most places I did research and look into that they spend hours talking about the program. Well, how is the program talking about how the program is going to go for hours? Actually teaching these people or, helping them, cope with their addictions. It's not. It's a gimmick to make money. To me, this is my personal opinion, to make money and to fulfill these hours that they have to fulfill in one day with bullshit. And they should be talking about the program on day one, but then after day, one's over, you move on to your actual treatment. And how they will go about achieving the desired goals while there. Okay, well, one thing is have the patients set goals, help them set the goals that they want to achieve while they're there, and make sure that they achieve them. Afternoon daily therapy is the most intense treatment. After they have had a healthy lunch, they meet up again for their therapeutic sessions. The individual behavioral therapy focuses on behavioral therapy. That's what I found. That sounds weird. Group therapy focuses on the patients opening up about what they struggle with and what they are addicted to. Well, that's great. They're allowed to at this time to share their personal experiences and what they're going through, and which I think is great also. Specialized sessions focus on being tailored for anger management, stress management, or grief counseling, in which they also offer coping techniques to help prevent their abilities to handle these situations without substance and without anger and violence, which that is awesome because I know that that's something that people need to learn. They need to learn coping skills to be able to be sober, to deal with whatever life throws at you. We all need that. And then violence and anger, that's definitely, in any type of program like this, it needs to be addressed. Family therapy focuses on helping the family deal with the addict, the bad thing the addict might or might not have done. It allows many issues to be resolved. They also discuss long-term successes. They include the families in, and so they're able to participate with their, the person, the addict. I want to say addiction, but that's why I keep doing that. The addict's, progression and during the healing process. There are some other therapies that they also can utilize and teach the patients, which are art of music, dance therapy, biofeedback, neurofeedback, exercise programs, and equine therapy. And when they are not in session, the patients are allowed free time as long as things are complete in each session and whatever homework they give them or whatever they do. Evenings in rehab are short groups that typically provide a safe, respectful, and anonymous environment in which fellowship can be fostered, which serves as the element for long-term sobriety. Okay, well, I don't know if you agree with that or not. They teach healthy habits, which is good. I already said that before. By the patients getting enough sleep, this was one of their things that they teach. By patients getting enough sleep, they are alert and have a lot more energy and will participate better in groups. Well, that's common sense because everybody's more alert and, and typically when somebody goes into rehab, they get enough sleep because these people, most of them are on a drug that does not allow them to sleep very, much. So when they go in there and they have to sober up, they're sleeping lots. What are the success rates with rehab? Drug overdoses have become the number one cause of injury related to deaths in the United States, killing on an average of 44,000 people each year, according to Medscape. And according to the Centers for Disease and Control, they estimate that 114 people die a day because of drugs, and 6,748 will get treatment in the ER for a drug-related issue. 90% of people who most need drug rehab don't actually receive it. Well, what are we doing wrong? Why aren't these people receiving it? What are the success rates and statistics? Gosh, according to Time Magazine, there are no actual success rates or statistics at this, which is enough to blow anyone away. I know it blows me away. How in the hell is there no statistics to people having success in drug rehab? Then why the fuck do we have them? It makes you wonder. This is a huge moneymaker, and there are a lot of people in and out of rehab. So how in the hell is there no statistics in this, for success? Again, I just repeated myself. They say that the facilities do not follow up with their patients. How is that possible? How can they not follow up with their patients? Considering how much money it costs to go to rehab, they should still be getting some sort of treatment outside once they're released. That the success rates only apply to those who complete the length of their stay. Okay, but you don't follow up with the ones that don't. Maybe they can't afford to stay there. Maybe there's a reason why they're not there. Sure, there's some that go and check themselves out. That's a given. I mean, that's just common sense too. And this is what they are basing the 100% success rate off of. So this tells me that they are far from 100% success rate, which we already know, because if that was true, half of them, the United States would be drug free, which is not even the case. What is important to recognize is that the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs showed that thought patterns related to ongoing sobriety involved negative associations with drinking. This is a small study of 29 cases. While it does support the notion that willpower is the answer, nor that rehabs doesn't work, but it does add support to the notion that success recovery can very widely differ from one person to the next, which obviously is common sense also. Everybody deals with everything differently. Some people can quit drugs tomorrow that have been on them their whole life, and some will never quit drugs, no matter how much treatment or no matter what they do to try and stop that. The Scientific American article on relapse refers to an early essay article on do-it-yourself cures for addiction, which says a critical problem when considered the various studies and their conflicting messages about treatment success. National Center on Addiction and Substance, Califano, I'm probably saying that wrong, said that the therapeutic community claims 30% success rate, but they count count people who complete the program. So all the other ones don't even get counted in, even though they paid all this money to be there. Califano adds that the other 70 to 80% have dropped out by the 36-month marker. Okay, well, where is the 70 to 80%? Why aren't we doing something to keep those 70 to 80% people in rehab and treatment? What do we need to change to make them stay? So what really is going on in rehab centers? Can everyone really be expected into rehab? Can everyone be accepted, into rehab no matter what? And what about the scholarships they speak of? Are there scholarships people can obtain to help them pay for rehab or get them into rehab? In a book by Ann Fletcher, she reveals the good and bad of drug rehab. National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse of Columbia University released a report detailing the devastating state of addiction treatment. The counselors with little education or less oversight are using outdated and harmful techniques. National standards for creditaling, I guess is how you'd say it, are training counselors and most treatment centers. In her book, she investigates these facilities. There are a huge number of people with serious addictions and 22 million with problems. 1 out of 10 go for help each year, so that leaves 9 untreated. The biggest thing she found was lack of training, and in a lot of states, they don't even require a degree or training to be these counselors. So how are they fucking qualified to be helping these people? What treatment or what programs have they gone through to be able to actually do the job that they're doing? None, is what they're saying, which is fucking mind-blowing to me. I wouldn't want to go pay all that money and be talking to JoJo down the street that she worked at Walmart until she got this better job. Because how is she qualified to be helping me beat my addictions? Well, they're not, and that's what the fucking problem is. People pay $25,000 to $30,000 a month to be in rehab, to be counseled by everyday people that haven't gone to school, that haven't learned the proper information and tactics to do so. That's fucking crazy. Isn't that crazy to you? You're telling me that you would pay $25,000 to $30,000 for rehab for somebody that's not even qualified to be doing, counseling you and there to be helping you. I mean, how is this possible? They say that anyone can open up a rehab facility and that anyone could run it, and you don't even have to have people that have any idea what they're doing. Well, that's what's happening, and these people are making millions and millions of dollars, and nobody's being treated for addiction, and these people are going back out in the streets, shooting up or whatever, killing themselves over drug, overdoses, or going to jail or prison, and it doesn't make people question what the fuck is going on here. Crazy. Also, it adds up to 3 to 5 hours of individual counseling time a week. That's it. So for $25,000 to $30,000, they only get 3 to 5 hours of individual counseling time a week. That's it. The 8 hours a day of group, because they say 8 hours, they have an 8 to 5 job, all these counselors and everybody, watching videos and what is used, watching videos and what is used, and it has been found that what they're doing, these videos and these groups and their 3 to 5 hour individual counseling a week is the least effective. I mean, that will actually work. It's not effective. So why is it still going on? Why is the government, why is it people allowing this to continue? Well, you know why? Because it comes down to this, and that's all that matters. People don't matter to these facilities. It's all about the money. It's all about greed. It's all about how people can make money off of other people's problems, and the government and whoever else has their hand in it. It has been said that in these groups, they spend 3 to 4 hours just talking about the program, like I mentioned before. Now, how is that helping these people recover from their addictions? It's not. I want to express that. It's not. Nothing so far is helping these people beat their addictions. All it is putting people in debt or using our taxpayers' money, because it goes through Medicaid and Title 19, to pay for this, but nobody's actually coming out drug-free. Another problem she ran into was the patients were being treated with methadone and Suboxone. So isn't that considered trading one current addiction for another? How is giving medication to this extent, and medication that's addictive, to people that have addictions already and have addictive personalities, the answer? You know why? Well, because, okay, the drug dealer loses their customer, okay, so might put a drug dealer out of business. To me, keep the drug dealer in business because he's doing it because they need money, but it's allowing the government and these pharmaceutical companies to become fucking billionaires. And the people that are being given this medication are still addicted to something. It's just not illegal. But then they have to go out of their way to get these, so they go back to the street to be able to obtain these medications, because by the time they leave these places, they're fucking addicted to it. Oh, sorry, this is just, it pisses me off. The way our world works and the way that we are allowing things to run in this goddamn country is fucking amazing to me. It's just crazy. People go to jail every day because they're addicted to marijuana. Fucking marijuana. Or they're selling marijuana. Well, some people have to make a fucking living. Because the government and the pharmaceutical companies are making so much money, but they don't drop it down to where people can afford to fucking live or have proper health care or be able to afford it. Who the hell can afford health care? Yeah, if you have 2 working parents in one home that make good money, then you might be able to. Or you have a job that offers you medical. Otherwise, the rest of the world is just absolutely fucked. Unless you don't make a certain amount of money, which, like me, I've always made too much money. I've never been able to go on Medicaid or get food stamps or medical or anything, because I've always made too much money. But I can't afford to go pay for health care for 2 people. I mean, come on. What the hell? How is it any better to have these people? I already went over all that. It's complete bullshit, like I said. Most of this information, I want to make sure I say that it came from Maria, and I don't know how to say her last name. I'll spell it: Szallavitz, a journalist for Time. What positive things did she actually find in these rehab facilities? Compassion in the field. They really do believe that they are helping people, and she did feel things were changing. A lot of people that are in need of rehab cannot pay for it. So I noticed that when I was researching all my other stuff and digging, through all of the information, that, let me see here, sorry, I got so frustrated. Even contacted a place, I even contacted a place, sorry, in which I was told, I was asking about, I wanted to make sure I was on the right, thing before I came on here and, gave you this information. I contacted a place and I was told that there were no longer scholarships, because that's what I was looking into, because I noticed that there were scholarships all over. You can apply for scholarships to go to rehab. And so I contacted a place that said that they have these scholarships. Well, I was told by the gal that I spoke to, there were no longer doing scholarships because the laws have changed and they no longer are allowing scholarships to be there, to be given out, which, after researching more, is bullshit. So that facility lied to me. So if I was a person that was in need of rehab, I would have been discouraged again, got off the phone, probably did whatever drug I did, probably hit, like if you smoke pot, you probably took a couple, hits and then kind of just hung your head down like, what the fuck am I going to do? The money to offer these generally come from fundraising. I'm sorry, but okay. But that isn't true, as scholarships may come from foundations, a nonprofit, or from within the facility itself. The money that's offered generally comes from fundraising events and donations. Grants may come from nationally or state funds. There is financial aid, especially the grants noted above may be specific to certain populations, such as pregnant women, primary caregivers to children. So again, what that lady told me is not correct. But what I found really discouraging, once I did look into it more, to actually obtain one of these takes a lot of determination, a lot of hard work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of researching, a lot of, applying to different organizations, and on and on and on. To me, why make it so hard? We're talking about somebody that is addicted to let's say meth. Do you think that they don't have enough problems going on or trying to deal with their everyday day-to-day life, let alone when are they going to come down enough to apply for these grants? Why is it that we're making this so hard? It makes you question that, or at least it does me. It makes it seem to me that this is exactly the way they want people to be. They want people to be down and out. They want people to be addicted to drugs because the government and everyone else benefits from it by keeping these people where they're at. Addiction in this country, in the whole country, is outrageous. There are doctors, there are lawyers, there are homeless people, there are grocery workers, movie theater workers, caregivers, day caregivers that are addicted to something. Because we're all addicted to something, no matter what you say or what you believe. It's not true, because it is. You're addicted to shopping. You're addicted to TV. You're addicted to cigarettes, to meth, to cocaine, to drinking, to driving fast. I mean, we're all addicted to something. But there are people crying and, begging for help, and they're not receiving that help. Why is that? We can give free medical care. Now that I've looked into that, most of it's not free because we don't cover any of it, even though these people need to go to the eye doctor or to the dentist or whatever. They no longer receive that. They hardly get any insurance now, which I think is bullshit, because if you qualify to receive, government insurance, then you should be able to go to the doctor, to the eye doctor, to the dentist, because all of that is part of your health. If you can't see, how in the hell will this person ever get a job? If your teeth are bad, it could kill you. I mean, all the poison from all of it could go to your heart and kill you. That's just common sense. So why is it that these people aren't able to do that? Why is it that if you look into all this stuff, we're allowing all these people that are in need of help, begging for help, wanting help, to remain stuck? That's the question. And that's the question that pisses me off the most. So what are we going to do to stop this? What are we going to do to help these people and to make these facilities better? Nothing. We're just going to just allow them to keep charging $30,000 a month, and these people walk out of there with still the same fucking addictions. I know once you're an addict, you're always an addict. That's common sense. But if you're actually given the proper information and taught the right things, and you bring out what is going on in that person that causes them to be addicted to this, because there is a reason, then that helps them. But if they're not doing that, if they're just sitting there in groups talking about how the fucking program works, how is that bringing out all their stuff that needs to come out to be able to beat this? It's not. It's a money-making scheme like everything else in this goddamn country that we sit back and don't pay attention to unless one of our family members have to go or you have to go. And then again, who can afford to go? Not very many people. It's time to, this is another thing. It's time to, stomp our feet, raise hell, and change what is going on. So, sorry I'm so emotional. Sorry I'm so upset about it, but I am just blown away. The more research I do about a lot of shit that's going on in this world is just absolutely ridiculous. I hope that this gave you some information. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I cuss so much. When I get riled up, my sailor mouth comes out. I have a horrible mouth, and I try not to, but I pray for anyone in your family, your friends, or anyone that has an addiction, that is struggling with addiction, and I hope that they are able to get the proper care. I would definitely not recommend anybody going to rehab until you know that you're going into a facility to where they know what the hell they're doing, and it's not costing you your house to be able to pay for it. So, and again, if you liked this video, please share it, because the more people that see it, that's great. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. I'm sending out much healing, positive vibes, and for everyone that deals with addiction and just everyone in general. I love you all so very much. I appreciate you coming and stopping by and listening to my videos. I love you. Many kisses. Peace always. Let's change the way rehabs and the way we look at it. Let's do something. Let's make a difference. For once, make a difference. Make a difference. Make a difference.